Well, as a goalkeeper, everybody knows we all want to be outfield players. We all want to be, and I was no exception. I played centre half until I was 14, but I wasn't very quick. I was too slow. So there was only one option, and that was to go in between the sticks. And it happened for me. I was a tad fortunate that the way it all come about. I was playing good local football and got spotted and got offered trials, and I went, and it just happened all at the right time, all within 12 months. And lucky enough, I ended up working for probably the best manager around at the time, which was a massive bonus. I think you need a little bit of luck along the way, but obviously in testimonial games I've played centre forward. I even went up front in my own one because I was desperate to have a goal. So yeah, I think if I was lucky enough to score a goal, and that feeling was something special. For Sheffield Wednesday, yeah. So looking back and thinking what happened when I scored that goal in the last minute and didn't know what to do, celebration wise, I think probably I would have been no good as a striker anyway. But I always used to play outside in training, in five-a-sides and things, always.
You used to take penalties, didn't you, in shootouts?
Yeah, all the time. I've took a few penalties in shootouts, not in very important games, but I've got a bit of an hammer as a left foot, so it was never a problem for me. Oh God, I'd like to bollock Piercy a little bit more, but I didn't. No, I think Charlesy was a little bit lackadaisical at times. He used, quite a lot of the time he put me in situations with back passes and clips back to the goalie. I used to bollock Charlesy all the time, probably because I knew I could get away with it. Best for his side. I think, from a personal point of view, I think the season that after we got promoted from when Brian left and Frank took over, I think the next season after that, when we finished third in the Prem, I thought we overachieved, and I thought there was a lot better players in that team than what people thought. So I would probably say, I'm not sure what year that was, 94, 5.
94,
yeah.
95. The following year was when you were in the UEFA Cup.
Because we had the likes of Colin Moore, didn't we? And I think Piercy was he still there then? Piercy, yeah. I think the UEFA Cup season, probably those 2 years, from my own personal experience, I felt that I'd probably matured as a goalkeeper then. I know it took time, and they were definitely my best 2 seasons, and probably the best team that I played in at the time as well. I used to go with it. I used to make my mind up well before, sometimes the day before, if I knew I was going to. I always used to think, if, like for the cup final for instance, obviously I knew if they got a penalty, I knew Lineker would take it. And I was sat up in bed the night before the cup final thinking, if they get a pen, where am I going to go? And I'd already made my mind up, there's no way I was going to change. And I just used to go with it. And I always think, if you go the right way and you delay it as long as possible, you got 50-50 chance basically, because not many are brave enough to blast it down the middle. Well, I think Letizia won because it wasn't at the time, but now that he's retired and he only missed one out of the 48, it's a great record to have, because he was some player, wasn't he? I mean, and to have scored 47 out of 48 penalties and being the one to have saved it, I think, long live in the memory. I think the cup final one though was, I think there's 3 people done it, haven't they, in normal time. So again, it's a great achievement to have on record. A lot further than what I did. There's a rumour that Alan Sugar sent a bill actually to Forest for that, because I made a big crater on the edge of the box. But no, I mean, I just look back and I taped the game and watched it, and I've watched it numerous times, and I remember Tim Flowers being in the studio, doubled over in stitches, laughing. I couldn't believe how quick I got there actually, and when I look on TV and I see all the players chasing me, I didn't. Surprising how fast you can run when you're enjoying yourself. But no, I mean, another stupid idea of mine to try and do a Klinsmann dive, and it just didn't work, did it?
What were you thinking? Because it was an incredible tie, wasn't it? Because it'd been snowed off, and then there was Woney scored that fantastic free kick, and then it went to the replay. So was it just the emotions after finally winning?
I think it was the emotions of saving three spot kicks, and one of them being against my old mate Teddy Sheringham. You know, I mean, I was joking before he stepped up to take it, saying, "I've got this, I'm having this, Teddy," and he had a little smile on his face. But I'd denied him before, and obviously I won that battle. But just the emotion of saving 3 penalties and a spot kick, and I think with it being against Spurs as well, it just always seemed to be that. I don't know, when it was a Forest Spurs game, there always seemed to be that feeling of excitement, and it just ran through all the way through to when I saved it. I didn't mean to run up the other end of the pitch. I just did it.
I suppose it goes back to when you said you don't often plan your goal celebrations if you're a goalkeeper.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Isn't it?
I didn't know what to do. I couldn't even believe the ball landed on my head when I scored, and so I had a really sore hamstring at the time, and all I was worrying about is how I'm going to get back to the other end. Luckily, it was in the last minute, so. He's telling me he's going to have to read that in the book, because I tell everything about what happened. It wasn't a brick. But no, tell him to buy the book and he'll read all about it. I think we had a sheet posted out to us not long ago, all coaches and managers, that the average tenure now is around about 11 months outside the Premier League, which is what you're meant to do in 11 months, you know. But unfortunately it's a results-based business, and I was speaking earlier that if you go 5 games without a win now as a manager, you're under pressure. A lot of that comes from supporters, but supporters have the right to voice their own opinions, there's no doubt about that. And even when I'm going to a football match and just there as a neutral, I think I'm better than them 22 players on the pitch, and why is he not doing this and why is he not doing that? And that's why it's such a brilliant game, because you can go and sit in a bar afterwards and talk till midnight, and every person in the bar will have a different opinion, and that's the way it will always be. And it's such a great game. But I don't think managers get you know, I mean, I'm a big believer that, like, only through our experiences at Chesterfield, we went into a club with no money to spend and inherited 18 players and probably 12 that we didn't want. We've gradually moved them players on. We've gradually got our own players in that we want, but that's took the best part of 18 months to get where we just only want to start to be. Now, we want to strengthen that squad even more and take that to 2 years, and then hopefully our aim is 5 years to try and be in the Championship. Now, I think you need a minimum 3 years to get them foundations in, and managers just get sacked too quickly. Well, obviously he's an ex-teammate, and I had a conversation with Nigel at the beginning of the season because we played in pre-season, and you know, when he explained to me that his job was to, you know, he got to slash the wage bill so much that last season, and then this season he had to slash the wage bill even more. Straight away, as an outsider looking in, is that what chance have you got, basically? He's probably lost his best player in Commons recently, and it was a big dent in his side, and he's probably not had the money to fill his place. So it's a results-based business, and you don't get the time, and you know, fans are beginning to take the frustrations out of the manager, which they always do. But the manager's in that position to have to take that. It's the same in any business. If you're the manager of any business, and if you don't get the results, then you're not successful, are you? And then people start questioning you. I think he did. I think he was. He kept himself to himself. He was a quiet lad, but if he had an opinion about something, then he'd voice it. There's no doubt about that. He's a fantastic player. Singling out players at the end of the day, that's his prerogative. I mean, some managers, our manager for instance, he will, no matter how badly the players have played, he tends to be, rather he take the flak rather than put that onto the players, which they've got to turn out for you the week after. But again, he's the manager of that football club, so if that's the way that he wants to work it, then that's his prerogative. I think they've done excellent. We were just speaking earlier that I think since David Platt left, it's been transitional ever since then. And when you have to follow Brian Clough, Frank Clark come in, did an excellent job. But then there's been a transition of managers that it's never really worked out for. What the situation has been financially and that, I don't know, but it just seems to be now that last year just missed out. This year, are they going to go that one step closer? It just seems to be turning slowly but surely. And it's great to see him doing so well. I was just reading in the paper today that he's worried that there's a lot of tiredness around, and at this point of the season you rely on players not getting injured, and especially your better players, and it seems to be the case that there's a few of the better players that are injured at the moment that they could really do with. But as I say, on a Sunday morning I still pick the paper up. It's the first fixture I look for the result. I love to read the reports on how well they're doing, and it's great to see them doing so well. I just hope they can make it back into the Prem. It's a club that obviously I hold dear to my heart. You spend 13 years somewhere, and then you want to see them doing well, and that's the case at the moment. I want to see them doing better than anybody. From a personal point of view, I was having my own problems because I wanted to obviously get my new contract sorted out, and it wasn't happening. And no matter how much tooth and nail I tried to fight to try and renew that contract, it wasn't going to happen because we didn't see eye to eye. And it's frustrating to see that a club, when you've been there so long, and start to go on the decline. And there's no doubt about it, it went on the decline. And at the time, it didn't look as though there was any way out of it. As I say, and it's took all that time to get to this period now where, I don't know, what was it, 10 years? 10 years, long time in football. It just seems to me as though it's turning that corner. I think that's the feeling now. Even when I come to Nottingham and you speak to Forest fans that have supported the club years and years, they seem to think that it's turning back now, and they're going to be a great club again, and it's starting to happen. And I think Billy Davies has done a fantastic job, if I'm honest. I really rate him. I had a chance to go from Fulham to QPR under John Gregory as goalkeeping coach, and Lee Camp was there at the time, and I managed to get in contact with him to tell him that there's a chance that I would possibly come in to work with him. And I was really looking forward to it, actually, because I've always liked him. I've always thought he's a good keeper, and I think he's been excellent. The eyes were really, but then he left, went to Forest, and I decided I was going to go to Oldham and carry on playing. I wasn't ready to I knew I could play for another couple of years, so I didn't take up that coaching role, even though I was offered it. And luckily, John Gregory, he left shortly afterwards, so I could have been, trying to find the club myself. But now I think he's a good keeper. I'm glad to see he's getting international recognition as well. I think he can play in the Premier League, no doubt, from what I've seen anyway.
Well, he's just done what you did, and got himself an international job that wasn't necessarily his own.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. I mean, what do you do in that situation? I knew that I wasn't going to play for England when it got to 1997. I'd had a fantastic year 94 and 95. I remember Piercy saying to me, "Venables has been asking about you," and I thought I might have had a chance of making A squad or whatever, but it never happened. And then the phone call from Scotland and Wales came. What do you do in that situation? I mean, I speak about it in the book where I don't agree with it, if I'm honest. I don't agree that I'm not Welsh, I'm English. But I was offered an opportunity to go and play international football, and I just took that opportunity. I might be saying the wrong thing, but it's just the way that I feel.
Last question, just wanted to ask, as a goalkeeper, did you mind the shirts that you got made to wear? Because there were some shockers, I've got some pictures of them. So we'll just run you through the...
I'll tell you what I like, this is another thing, you got these thrown at you and you had to wear them. I like a goalkeeper to be able to choose his own shirt, because I'm a believer, you have to be comfortable in what you're playing in. So that one weren't too bad.
It's quite tasteful green.
I always used to like black because it made me look a bit thinner. No, that's not bad. Let's stick with that one.
This a tasteful number?
No. That's a shocker, isn't it? Who would wear that?
How did you feel when you got this shirt and you knew you had to wear it for the next 2 seasons?
Well, there's nothing you can do about it. But what you tend to do is you tend to get... That shirt will probably be in 2 different colours, like you'll have an away one, and I think the other one was purple with pink stripes.
I couldn't find a photo of that.
So it was a toss of a coin. So to the yellow one, because I probably made it a little bit slimmer.
This one's not a very good picture, but it's not a very good shirt either, so I don't think it matters.
Now that one, I didn't mind that one. I didn't mind that.
Compared to the others, I can see why actually.
Yeah. I didn't mind that one.
Want to keep you
I didn't mind that. I've got one of them framed on my wall. One of those ones. I've never seen that picture before though.
Not sure what you're doing there. I think that's your
keeping
audition
the ball
to
up.
be an outfield player.
Yeah.
This is my favourite. I'm not sure about the pose, but I think I had that shirt.
I'm not sure about the gloves. The colour of the gloves, I'm not. No, I quite like that one as well. I quite like that one. I'm not sure about the goatee on that one either. Oh my god. I remember that because I'd just signed a new deal and Frank was saying to me, "There's no way you're going to play for Scotland. There's no way you're going to play for Scotland. If you go and play for Scotland, you're not getting a new deal." I said, "Alright, then I'll go and play for Wales instead then." Class.
Oh, cheers, Mark. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Look forward to
nice meeting you.
seeing you lots in the coming months with
Yeah.
promoting the book.
Yeah, good. Thanks a lot.